Hi guys, so today we will be starting a new series as well as new type of presentation in a smart TV. Okay, if you like the old method like in whiteboard, you can comment down below. Okay, so today we will start a new series in the name common field diseases. Okay, so we will cover all the main diseases, only importance from the practical view. The practical or in field there are like 6-7 diseases or 8 diseases which are very common. We will cover all that, okay, in this series. So for many time I won't be visible because it is covering too much. So let us start our presentation. Today's topic is actually differentiating the hemoprotozoan diseases in large ruminants. I will make another video on small ruminants. Okay. So first we will know some basics like which organism. First, in Babesiosis, in large ruminant, mostly Babesia bovis and Babesia bigemina, and in case of Theileriosis, Theileria parva, Theileria annulata. In Trypanosomosis, Trypanosoma evansi, Trypanosoma vivax. Then in Anaplasmosis, Anaplasma marginale and Anaplasma centrale. The spelling is wrong, it's okay. Next, you see we are we are taking Anaplasmosis in this lecture because it is more or less similar to the other three, okay, similar to Babesiosis, Theileriosis and Trypanosomosis. That is why we are taking Anaplasmosis. Anaplasma is basically rickettsia, okay. So now coming to the, if you will prepare a slide where we will find mostly the Babesia, Theileria are intracellular, so also the Anaplasma, whereas the Trypanosoma they are basically the extracellular. So where to find? So in case of Babesiosis and Theileriosis and Anaplasmosis, in three you will find inside RBCC, and specifically in Theileriosis you will also find some blue dots which is known as Cox blue bodies KBB, which is basically the cyzones. You can find that in WBC, specifically the lymphocytes. Okay, now the incubation period, you see Babesiosis has 2 to 3 weeks, that is 14 to 21 days. For Theileriosis 1 to 3 weeks, 7 to 21 days. For Trypanosomosis 4 to 13 days. For Anaplasmosis is 7 to 35 days. They are transmitted by Babesiosis, Theileriosis are basically transmitted by tick, while as Trypanosomosis is transmitted by fly. The name of tick and fly you can comment down below. Okay, for Anaplasmosis they can be transmitted by tick or fly. Next, coming to the signs and symptoms directly. You see I won't discuss the pathogenesis because it is more or less theory. Okay, you can read that in your own time. I will discuss only from practical point of view. So for the Babesiosis we will find mostly the high fever, okay, more than 105 degree Fahrenheit, sometimes it may reach up to 106 and 107 degree Fahrenheit, and there will be inappetence. See, inappetence is reduction in appetite, whereas the anorexia is complete absence of appetite. So in case of Babesiosis you will find inappetence, then you will find anemia. You see anemia will be present in all of the diseases, whereas in case of Babesiosis the anemia is profound. Okay, among the three, Babesiosis, Theileriosis and Trypanosomosis, in case of Babesiosis the anemia is profound, okay, in comparison to the Theileriosis and Trypanosomosis. Now the urine, the coffee and coffee color or brown color urine, it is a characteristic feature of Babesiosis, but remember coffee and brown color urine also present in the post parturient hemoglobinuria. Okay, in that case you won't find the fever. In that way you can diagnose, you can differentially diagnose it between the Babesiosis and the post parturient hemoglobinuria. Now a quick question, how you will differentiate between the hematuria and the hemoglobinuria? Okay, in both cases the urine will be coffee or brown color. So the answer is centrifugation, but how, you comment down below. Okay, now in Babesiosis you will find also muscle tremor, because there is less blood, so hypothermia, to get to get the temperature there will be muscle tremor, and dyspnea, because of anemia there will be dyspnea. Dyspnea is difficulty in respiration. Now coming to the Theileriosis, in case of Theileriosis you will find also high fever 105 to 106 degree Fahrenheit, and here we will find anorexia. The animal won't take any feed. Now there will be also anemia. And the fourth point, that is superficial lymph node swelling. This is the characteristics for theileriosis. Though superficial lymph node swelling can be seen in trypanosomiasis, but it is more characteristics to the theileriosis. Now coming to the fifth, that is dyspnea, difficulty in respiration. All the patients with anemia, they will have some dyspnea. Dyspnea is usually shows the terminal stage. Now there will be ocular edema. We will see all the symptoms in a pictures also. So ocular edema, then cutaneous nodules. Cutaneous nodules may be found in case of theileriosis. Next, trypanosomiasis. In case of trypanosomiasis, the first point is important. There will be intermittent fever. Okay. In case of babesiosis and theileriosis, you may find persistent fever, whereas in trypanosomiasis you will find the intermittent fever, and there will be weight loss. This is also another important point. In case of trypanosomiasis, they will have very good appetite. The animal will eat everything, but there will be weight loss. That is why it is also known as wasting disease. Okay. Next, there will be anemia, of course, hemochromatozoa. Then there will be conjunctivitis. You see, sometimes in case of trypanosomiasis, this may be a characteristic feature of trypanosomiasis. In the case of field, you will find there will be hemorrhages in cornea. Okay, bloodshot eye, the conjunctivitis, and then corneal opacity. Corneal opacity is also characteristics of trypanosomiasis. You see, all the red marks are characteristics, but they may be found in other like some in babesiosis also, some in theileriosis also, but they are more characteristics of a specific disease. Always remember, the signs and symptoms are only a tentative diagnosis. The confirmatory diagnosis is by laboratory. Next, fifth point, edema of dependent parts. There will be some mandibular edema, brisket edema, okay, dependent part. Now coming to the anaplasmosis, you will find fever, but they won't exceed 105 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so this is also can be differentiated from other hematoprotozoan diseases. There will be anemia and icterus. You see, jaundice is most characteristic in case of anaplasmosis. I was in charge of district diagnostic laboratory, where I found most of the anaplasmosis cases you will find hemoglobin less than 4. Okay, so in that case there will be development of jaundice. Next, inappetence, reduction in appetite. Enophthalmos, it means sunken, the eyeball will be sunken. Next, debility. Okay, there will be loss of body condition. Dyspnea is more profound in case of anaplasmosis because the hemoglobin falls below 4, so there will be profound dyspnea, difficulty in respiration. Now let us see the symptoms in a pictorial manner. This is hemoglobinuria, you see. Okay, this is coffee color or brown color urine, and you still have to comment how to differentiate between the hemoglobinuria and hematuria by centrifugation. Next, the theileriosis, you can see the lymph node enlargement. You can see the prescapular lymph node. Okay, here is the prescapular lymph node. You see, there is a prefemoral lymph node in case of femur, and here base of the ear there will be a parotid lymph node. So why these lymph nodes are swelled? Mostly you will find the prescapular and the parotid, because the ticks, they usually attach to the neck area, because they are, the defense is less. Like if it will be there in the back side of the, by the tail movement they can hit the tick, but in neck area there is no mechanism to distract them. That is why they will find morely head and neck area, from where the lymphatics is drained to the prescapular and parotid gland, that is parotid lymph node. That is why these two lymph nodes usually swell up fast. Okay. Next, this is a cutaneous nodule. You can see small nodules. This is the characteristics of theileriosis. Next, this is ocular edema. This is found in case of theileriosis. You can see the edema of eye. You see, this is the theileriosis slide. This slide was made by me when I was in charge of district diagnostic laboratory. Let me show you in a enlarged view. You see, this is cock blue bloody, KBB. You can see here. See, this is KBB. You can see the this is lymphocyte. You can see the nucleus is pushed towards one side, here pushed to the one side, and you can find the cock blue body. Here you can see the nucleus is eccentric. Okay, here are some cock blue bodies and another two. Here you can see this one and also this one. Okay, so this is cock blue body. Next, this is merozoite that is found in case of RBC, inside the RBC. You can see the Theileria organism, like here you see this is Theileria annulata. Okay, this is annular shape, the Theileria annulata here, here, here. Okay, these are nothing but Theileria organism. You can see it here, here. This is a highly positive case. Okay, this is Theileria annulata. So this is basically theileriosis slide. This is a confirmatory diagnosis for theileriosis. Now, trypanosomiasis. You can see the wasting. Wasting means the animal will eat, but there won't be good health condition. You can see the wasting disease. Now, the corneal opacity. You can see the cornea is opaque. Okay, corneal opacity. This is a characteristics of trypanosomiasis. This is a slide which I got from internet. Okay, so this is a case of trypanosomiasis. You can see the trypanosoma organism. They are basically extracellular. Remember one thing about trypanosomiasis. Most of the time in field you will find cases where they will tell you about the nervous symptoms. Okay, they will tell the animal is having convulsions or something. In case of trypanosomiasis, the convulsion occurs in very last stage. Okay, so what you can do? You can do a urine test. While I was in charge of district diagnostic laboratory, I found about 80% slides which comes for the trypanosomiasis, for trypanosoma diagnosis, they are usually ketosis positive. Okay, the ketosis, the nervous form of ketosis, there will be nervous signs, whereas they may not be affected with trypanosoma. So you should know that if anyone is telling you that there is convulsions, okay, don't immediately go for trypanosoma treatment. There may be a sign of ketosis, that is nervous form of ketosis. This is anaplasmosis. You can see the jaundiced mucous membrane, and there will be debility, and the animal will lie on the ground. There will be dyspnea. This is a slide of anaplasma. Let me show you in a enlarged view. Usually anaplasma is found in a mixed infection. Okay, it usually get mixed up with theileriosis. You can see here, this is anaplasmosis. As this is present to the border, that is anaplasma marginale. If it was present in center, then anaplasma centrale. You see, this is a anaplasma marginale. You see, this is theileria. This is theileria annulata. Okay, this is a mixed infection of anaplasma marginale and theileria annulata. You can check these slides in my Facebook page in my name, Dr. Sagar Sahu. Okay, you can find the slides also there. Now, how we will approach towards a hemoprotozoan case? If you see hemoprotozoan case, the owner or the quack, anyone will come to you directly and tell you this is case of babesiosis or theileriosis, like that. So what you should do? First, go for history. Okay, history regarding prevalence of ticks and flies. You know that tick and flies, they are the carrier of hemoprotozoa. That is why you have to ask for ticks and flies. At the time of presentation, you may not find the ticks or flies. Okay, they may have given ivermectin to get rid of ticks. Okay, so you may not find ticks, but take history, that is important. Next, you record the temperature. Okay, this is also important. You know the intermittent fever, the persistent fever, and a fever that does not exceed 105 degree Fahrenheit. So next, check the visible mucous membrane. Visible mucous membrane are the eye, next the gum, then vagina. These are visible mucous membranes. Check those visible mucous membrane to the degree of to find out the degree of anemia. Next, check the lymph nodes. Okay, swelling of lymph nodes, the prescapular, the prefemoral, and the parotid. Important is prescapular and parotid because they swell up fast. Okay. Next, check the urine, okay, whether there is a coffee color urine or any other kind of urine. You see, in case of ketosis, the urine will smell sweet, okay, so it may not be a trypanosomiasis case. Next, check respiration for dyspnea and check other signs like ocular edema or brisket edema or submandibular edema. After checking all these, you will find a tentative diagnosis. Always send a sample to the nearest laboratory for confirmatory diagnosis, but if you do not have, then treat according to your tentative diagnosis. Now the treatment part, you see I won't write the, I haven't written actually the dose rate and the brand names because I do not like quackery, okay. So you find out that in your own way. For babesiosis, the drug of choice is dimenagine and imidacloprid. Dimenagine or imidacloprid, okay, it's not a combination drug, you can give dimenagine or imidacloprid. For theileriosis, it is buparvac1. For trypanosomiasis, isomethylmedium and dimenagine. For anaplasmosis, the drug of choice is actually oxytetracycline or tetracycline. Then also imidacloprid is also effective against anaplasmosis. After the drug of choice, you need some supportive therapy, fluids for dehydration, antipyretic to control the fever, the hematinics because there is anemia, so you need blood formation, that is why you have to give hematinics. Then multivitamin, they usually reduce the stress of drugs. So this is all about the treatment. So thank you very much. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, okay. Most of these watchers, like 63%, they don't subscribe, so please subscribe. So if you like this type of presentations, you can comment down below, okay. We can make videos in this type of presentations, okay. This series will mostly be presented like this because there are many pictures, okay, so you need to see them. So next class we will go for the parasitic eggs, the commonly available, the commonly found parasitic eggs, not all, okay. Thank you, bye bye.